Monaco qualifying for a and yeah, it feels like an eternity since we've had Formula Sundays, but it's actually only been a week. Now we make a big comeback with Monaco, which is gonna be, well, I don't know what's it gonna be at this point, to be honest. I can only assume that Challenger tier will be quite fun to watch. As I am probably not wrong by saying that the drivers here might be a little bit more inexperienced. So yeah, we will see a lot of pit stops. We will see a lot of carnage and overall stress. We have the Rocket Sundays players rocking good old racing legends names. Nelson Piquet, Carlos Pace. The first one to go on the fresh track is gonna be Keyboard Driver. Yeah, now we're on board with him. And qualifying is gonna be fun, as always. Everyone is gonna push the track to the maximum boundaries. Pretty hard to get a good hot lap in here, because you either kiss the wall or cut the corner. Harbor chicane, where we're at right now, is quite easy to cut. This is quite easy to clip on the outside. It's very difficult to properly take these turns. Really gotta aim for the wall on the second right on the chicanes. One of the slowest turns the entire year, but not the slowest turn of this track as this is. Is it a carousel as well? I don't know. Maybe it's just the Nordschleife speaking out of me, but I have the feeling that you could call the really slow turn some kind of a carousel. I think this is casino section, right? Or is this actually? Oh my. If I only had F1 knowledge. Well, this is what I mean. 40 kilometers per hour is probably the slowest we get throughout the entire year without doing something wrong. And Keyboard Driver so far is looking fairly decent through his first attempt. I mean, as his name says, he drives with keyboard. I can only imagine it being an absolute pain on Monaco. Like, what is the reasoning behind that? But he's doing quite well, as he's seemingly quite good on keyboard in general. Maybe a little bit late of a break through the hairpin there, but after a little bit of Tokyo drifting, we're going on the finish line, and it's a 1:12, 1:12 or 1:11. Pretty nice time. Thank you. Thank you, old problem, for reoccurring again. Love it when you just don't even move and your headphones unplug themselves, get chucked out of the game. Well, I should love it. Nelson Piquet with a 1:15. Not really the time you might be aiming for, as Pine seems like he is not having a good time neither. Having probably lost a bit of his front wing, judging by his steering. This has looked cleaner as well, but I think it's just fake from the desync or something. Professor Ball is heading around these last turns. This will certainly not be enough for a pole lap. Goldfish with 1:21, 30 on P3. And Professor Ball is the new front row mate of Keyboard Driver so far. Head over to crew. Crew, I think, had a purple sector 1 if I saw it right, so should be quite decent. Gonna see about that. I'm in through harbor. That was maybe not optimal. Staying as much speed as possible through that big right-hander. I don't know, like, opinions are split towards Monaco. I think the drivers say they love it, even though I can't really believe it. I imagine it being quite stressful. Oh my, that was close. Purple sector 3 for crew and just barely missing out on the pole time, just as McLarens have put out 112 times as well. Havoc coming through now, seemingly going in the 112s too, and he is going P2, just barely behind keyboard driver. Havoc, of course, making his debut today. Teammate, unfortunately, wow, yikes, doesn't have his PC ready. Ginger Ninja and Percy collide to give Ginge a 5 grid penalty. Not necessarily the sexy on-track action that you want to do with your teammate, I assume. Mr. Carlos Pace does not seem to have pace for P2 so far. As he's looking somewhat sketchy around some of these corners. I think Monaco without proper practice is like, I don't know, not fun, not fun. Completely apart from the fact that Monaco is generally, well, to me, not very fun. Oh yeah, I think he just tries to get a lap time in because he wants one, I don't know. Wait, how was this purple sector 2? I mean, not trashing pace here. We absolutely love him, of course. But this was not a purple sector 2. He's like 20 seconds of pace? No, not 20, but at least like 10-ish, which is an eternity. He's ahead of Goldfish at this point still. Let's head over to Cormico. Oh, who's actually looking very decent. That was a very good take on that second chicane. He pretty much kissed the wall a sweet and tender goodnight, without touching it though. And it is enough for P3. The top 4 are bunched up together very, very nicely. Barely any difference in between them. Probably like, if we are talking these times, it's literally a blink of an eye on a lap. Like, it's so insane. People say like, frick. Oh, keyboard driver retired. I think he might have been hitting that wall a little bit too hard. Let's see. Oof. Stanley retired. I think he has been hitting the good old Sandy bot, I think. I wanted to have a look at the keyboard driver, to be honest, but we couldn't. Maybe we can with Crew, who's going out now. Get a look at our boy Stanny. Seems to standing somewhere there. No. Ultimately, we'll set a 121 lap time that gives him P10 currently. And yeah, top 4, as mentioned before, are quite close together. I think we should jump to. This is certainly not Goldfish's peak performance. The 121 here. Currently sitting in the 11. Can certainly do better, even though that is not yet pushing to the absolute maximum. Some space between him and barriers. Well, that's generally speaking quite healthy, but there's some more space than would be necessary between himself and barriers at times. This is a way quicker lap though. 112.7 is at least enough. I think we've seen the track record of Lewis Hamilton being a 110.1, so Yeah, these guys, there's a reason why no one of us drives an F1 yet. If we see like even a 111, I'd be pretty damn, well, not pretty damn impressed. I'm sure like Sims or something, as someone else is gonna dish one of those out to us in the elite tier later on. But yeah, if one of these guys can do it, it's actually quite spicy. True. Already being 0.12 seconds ahead of his previous best time. Not looking heavy. To be honest, even though there's already 2 DNFs, we have seen less carnage than expected. At least I thought drivers would end up in the hole way more free. But yeah, that gets more and more difficult if you look at the race and, well, you actually have more drivers together. Oh, Crew might be cracking that 112 line. Not optimal racing lines through sector 3. I don't know if it was like back. It seemed like he clipped the barriers one times. Nonetheless, it should be enough for 111, and it is even a pretty good 111 P1 for Crew right now. And Havoc is on a hot lap as well with a good bit of improvement in sector 1 already. See if he can gain more in sectors 2 and 3. Gonna approach one of the Mercs. I think both of them are on hot laps though. Oh, Carlos Pace. I think he might have sent it a little bit too hard at turn 1. Oh my god. Professor Ball up there. And was that the other Merc as well? No. Was standing. Yeah. Unfortunately for Havoc, I think he was still on a decent run there, but yeah, you can't really help it, I guess. Let's see, Ginge is probably still on another hot lap. I mean, it doesn't matter too much if you drive several hot laps on one tire here, as yeah, very hard to overtake even if people have older tires anyways. It's probably mainly gonna be people making mistakes. To be honest, I don't know if I'm like mistaken there. Wasn't there a DRS zone in the tunnel like a few years ago? Did they remove that, or why? Probably because it was too dangerous. Hey, Yellow Mellow! Woo! I'm hoping you're prepared for these narrow streets. As Ginge certainly seems prepared. Second 111 time. Well, he has his 5 grid penalty for collision with his teammate though, so yikes. Gimp, it is Gimp time. Gimp is a good bit slower so far. Maybe he can gain some time in sector 3. Definitely not if he's going into the pits. Not recommended on a valid hot lap attempt. Monaco is having an invalid lap. Is he gonna go straight through? Yes, I'm gonna go for another. Yeah, and the Renault so far has been producing pretty decent results. One of the Mercs is in the barriers. That shall be Pine then. An out lap. And on again. Yeah, I think we stick with Comico for that little minute. He's running around the track. Oh, Comico. Getting the worst. I was about to say getting the worst part of the track done, but then the worst part of the track done him. Goldfish is returning into Le Pits. And now we really only have Havoc. Havoc is on another hot lap, and he seemed like he could go first in this one. Light improvement to begin with. Will already be enough to be ahead of keyboard driver if he can keep it up. Question is, can he keep it up though? Well, we're gonna see that, I think. As he's going through a little tunnel in the other chicane. Quite decent so far, and well, the purple time reflects that half a second quicker. Will actually be very close to cruise if he just can, like, get that 0.1, 0.2 seconds out of the last sector here. Very good exit out of the last turn. No slide at all, and Havoc in his debut qualifying sits on provisional pole right now. Pretty sure that Crew is gonna have something against that and try again. Prove his lap time, but Havoc with a quite impressive performance. Ball up now, flying on the next hot lap. He did not have the ultimate success so far with, well, not landing in the wall. He's done this twice already. Havoc there making good room for the quick drivers. Behind him shall be Gimp, I think. So he's gonna go through in the tunnel somewhere, or in the harbor chicane, depending on where Havoc decides to let him by. Okay, Havoc just decides to break, just bait Gimp or one of the Red Bulls, whoever it is. What is possible. Ball it now. Coming through sector 3. And that's not looking bad. Slight. No improvement. I thought it was gonna be a slight improvement. It wasn't. Quick question. Is it possible for you to turn up the volume of your microphone just a bit? It's hard to hear you sometimes, especially with the game sound. Okay. I'll have to top out some. Is that any better? I hope it is. The game sound is not necessarily loud for me, which is... It's kind of weird that my mic is not loud. Usually my mic is too loud and the game sound is too quiet. But Monaco on an invalid lap. Goldfish on a valid lap that seems decent. I hope it's better though, now. Should be a little bit more power on that mic, like 5 or 6 decibel? Ah no, decibel? How do you say it in English? Well, writing it in the chat won't really help because, well, won't solve the problem. Goldfish is 1.2 seconds quicker now though. And that would be a decent 1:11 time. I think he threw it away in sector 3 a little bit though. Might have lost some time there. Oh, 1.1 still, and that's... Yeah, he lost a little bit of time, and that cost him his P2. But big effort for him to go third. Now it's Crew, invalid lap. He's not gonna improve himself, and Havoc seems in a good spot to take that pole position. Comico in the finish as well, and it's Gimp on 5 lap old softs and still trying apparently. Going for a massively funky strategy, I think. Break, wrong button. This one, let's see. Okay, his best tire is like, it's fresh soft, so he's just enjoying himself right now on track, maybe getting a little bit of a warm up. So yeah, best tires for pretty much everyone is pretty fresh softs. Some of them it's 2 lap old, some of them is 1 lap old. Gimp apparently has 0 lap old softs, however he accomplished that. Yeah, he's already retired, so we have 1 minute 50 left. If the game chooses to do us the favor of, well, stopping it now, everything. Finally here, Herbie, whee! Goldfish P3, nice. Herbie is there. The boy himself. Yeah, how you be? I've heard in advance that you might not be able to do managing today. It seems like you came at the right time. The upcoming race. New RS admins are announced, which you shared in the chat because I don't want to tab out for the Discord. I have 2 suspicions. And I won't let you know if these are wrong on right because, well, it were really just prediction. Obviously, it was any of the. Actually, this perspective, even though like it is just Percy in the, I don't know, but it's quite cool how close everything is together. It's GeForce and Waller. Ah, interesting. I mean, GeForce has put in amazing work on the overlay side in Rocket Sundays recently. Yeah, I think you could say his work ethic fits in the very busy and not as delayed as Formula Sundays admins. Maybe we should get him to start playing F1 and lure him in here as well. Things would be coming out in time. Nonetheless, qualifying is finally over. As we have waited extra minutes. Havoc in the Haas debut race, debut pole. Followed by Crew, the Alpha once more strong. Followed by Goldfish, who has been pretty decent in the past few qualifyings. Has never been able to capitalize in the race yet. Ginge, McLaren following up, but gets demoted 5 positions. Fabian game. Ah, yeah, he's probably getting clips for some new graphic. So, yeah, Fabian is our equivalent to good old G. Generally put all the like pre-race things. Yeah, the pre-race graphics and stuff, all been prepared by him. Standings or calendar thing. Standings have actually been done. So, whilst we're randomly shout-outing everyone, shout out well. But yeah, the calendar thing, for example, looks a lot. I really hope he didn't join the. Okay, good. Because I kind of saw a German flag on the Ferrari garage and was like, "Ah, this is not supposed to be this way." Ginge and Monsieur Pace are already disqualified. Quite a funky matchup, by the way, as well, with Percy and Pace being teammates in Rocket Sundays and Ginge and Clay being teammates in Rocket Sundays, but they are kind of shuffled up in. I think they might have divided them pace-wise. McLarens, generally speaking, do a bit better than the racing points. And, well, Ferraris are obviously known as boats and hose from Rocket Sun. Oh, no. Clay. Goldfish. Hey, we're seemingly not getting too far in this formation lap. Quite a bunch of drivers. More drivers been. Not more drivers been. But, quite a bunch have been disqualified. I hope it's gonna be less contact during the actual race start. I low-key doubt it's gonna be less contact at the race start. We will hope for the best. Best case scenario would be no contact at the race start, by the way. Like, I'm not hoping for carnage, this is just extra work for the referees. And God knows. Oh, So, race start. Lights are going on. Interesting perspective on the top starters, and it seems like we're going away a little bit delayed as usual. A good bit delayed as usual. Can we please see the front? So, turn 1. Okay, let's jump back into the midfield. Oh, did everyone survive that? I am impressed, my dear Challenger boys. But they really did the impressing. No one crashes out in turn 1. Monaco monk ass, yes. And yeah, we are off to a clean start so far. Havoc and crew, like, the order's pretty much unchanged. To be honest, I would kinda... yeah. Rarely any overtakes. And it seems like the train has started. We're gonna see about eventual overtakes. Havoc's already pulling away from crew. Has built that 1.8 seconds gap already. Although I think the gap is misleading at Monaco sometimes, as it shrinks and expands at rapid rates. Though there is some overtaking going on, but mainly because Monaco goes into... Yes. Danny probably tapped the wall somewhere as well as... driving around Goldfish. Gonna see if he's gonna be able to. Very quick in qualifying, but so have the other guys up onto. And well, Havoc and crew so far seem to be pretty quick in pulling away more than the other guys. And well, on the other side, Professor Borlips holding up Percy, desperate to go. But well, it's Monaco. We don't do that here. Gonna have to wait to the start from trade. Probably even has to wait until we have the gonna get past. Hence, I'm not to crash into ball up here. As the pace difference big apparently. Percy pushing further up, and oh, ball up and Percy both losing more and more time. Sector 3, yellow flag. I think that's cool. But he seems to be able to go on pace immediately into pits. As Danny's probably going... it's not gonna follow him. Percy straight into the wall though. But yikes. It's been a while since we've been in such a crash like this. Driver. You sit in behind Goldfish hills, be able to go a little bit far. Goldie Mines at the moment. At the same time, they are not losing massive amounts of time. That's the guys in front. I think Monaco here is really just like gotta be careful on the penalties, as yeah. What can I say? You watching Keyboard Driver drive 2/10 behind Goldfish one entire lap. Yeah, I don't know what Goldfish did right in the Sector 3, but he gained a lot of time on Keyboard Driver. Maybe Keyboard Driver's going for that straight line in his setup instead for good old turns. Helped that this is what it is. Percy picking up 5 seconds. I think the thing I was about to point out about Monaco is like overtaking is difficult. But it's pretty easy to catch 3-second penalties in the Harbour chicane, for example, and so but in turn 1. And even in the first chicane, I think. To be honest, in both chicanes in Sector 3, you can somewhat pick up warnings. So, I think top of the leaderboards might be decided penalties in the end, as 3 seconds is quite a lot of time on Monaco. 3 seconds so far. Would, well, at least demote Havoc down to. There have been quite a bunch of penalties already. I think Goldfish has one. I don't know if Keyboard Driver has one as well. Keyboard Driver might have picked up front wing damage. We're gonna examine that at the pit stop, and I think there's someone holding a front wing. Yep, getting a new one. That is front wing number 3, if I counted that right. Goldfish gets some room at 3. So, where are we heading? I think we're going for Percy. Percy, I saw already, of course, as has Gimp. Both of them apparently came into the pits the very same lap, which would have been last lap then. Keyboard Driver's actually using his Singapore setup with lower wings. So he is using speed. Do you go straight line speed in Singapore? I mean, I think it's maybe not good for the qualifying, but if you don't have like the straight line speed on the straights, or it's just basically the only way you overtake on Singapore anyways, might have been setting yourself up for a bad race. So. But I don't know, Keyboard Driver is actually interesting. Keyboard Driver is really pushing up on time again already at the hand. Wait. And with that, wait. But yeah, Pine just always seems to get the better angle out of the last two. Or maybe it's just because Monaco is an absolute unovertakeable circle. Oh, Comico seems to be in the wall with Stanny now. Why does it even happen if I press shift? Do I have to? Usually I have this turned off, but recently I need it. But Comico is deceived. Yeah, well, he already DNF. He probably deceived afterwards. That is a generous dive bomb by Keyboard Driver. I'm not quite sure about that, bro. But well, it worked. I don't know if that necessarily makes it better. Okay, he's not gonna go far anyway. He's gonna go straight back in pits. Followed by Pine though. So we head back over to Percy, who seems to have pace advantage on Gimp. We will overtake quite a bunch of drivers in the pits. To be honest, Monaco is really just about not crashing and hoping the guys in front of you do crash. Pretty much the only way I see drivers gaining positions or something. 3 seconds time penalty for corner cutting. Those are starting to rack up as well now. Havoc, oh yeah, I was about to say Havoc has a 20, but he is just going to lose a little bit of time there. It'll be interesting to see the difference afterwards. I still think he's gonna have like seconds probably on crew. And well. We will have the second turn. Probably getting a try on Professor Paul somewhat. That didn't end well for Percy, being pushing up behind that Merc thing. And probably straight through the hub and well looks of it. Bit of a yikes. Yes. So can Jinch survive? Percy crashed into the wall here. After ball up. Was it? Was one of the Mercs for sure. Oh, Crew is actually super close to Havoc, by the way. Second, fighting them. I am pretty darn sure that there was more of a gap when they went into the pit in the first place. Oh! Oh my. Stanny with a little bit of a unsafe re-entry. I really hope that Baller didn't bring damage through this. I'm really glad that Ginge didn't go for a move on the Harbor Chicane. That would have probably ended in tears. Ball-up seems to be fine. I think the right front wing, which would have been the point of impact by Stanny, is still working as well. By the way, the average, I think, a F1 front wing is worth about 150,000 euros. Now, imagine the money blown away just on Monaco by our drivers here. Bidding for 4 front wings? Well, half a million gone. Insane. Inch is still pushing up behind Baller. Oh, and also, like, if any one of you in the you guys in the chat has seen the race, I did not, because I kind of stopped watching races because they end same way pretty much always, except when they don't. With a Monza. I've just seen there's been a huge carnage at the start or something. But apart from that, I think it's been Mercedes 1-2 again, right? It's very epic. Worth watch. To be honest, like, what is going on here? First of all that, but oh, we might actually see an overtake. Keyboard driver coming out there. Stanny, ooh, pretty much. Huh. Okay, this happens when you go 4 wide into Saint-Divot. More than just the start, Bossman. Okay. Yeah, I didn't, like, see anything of it again. What I was about to say, it would be quite exciting if we could, like, have the updated calendar in the F1 game. Like, not that they are ever gonna do that, because who would put in such an effort, put in more than 20 tracks in a, well, 60 euro game? Like, nah. We just sell you the same game every year, and then we talk about how cool the 2 new tracks that we have are, and Vietnam is actually shit. Just not F1's fault, but we like watching Havoc winning on his debut. I think you like. He's been quite comfortable in his P1. I think I care to not run into Stanny, who's standing in the tunnel there somewhere. Apparently he's easy enough to avoid, as both top runners have been able to do that. But Havoc, it's all looking clean here. Good old 3 seconds ahead, and apparently just having the slight edge on Monaco. I think that's Stanny's first ever retirement. Well. We recruited him next time we get both teams as racing points. Yeah, I mean, you gotta battle Clay and Pace for the racing point, to be honest. I think Haas is not too ugly of a livery to be rocking, to be honest. But I actually like. We have Alphas at least once. We had a Renault, McLarens, all the good teams. We have no AlphaTauris, to be honest. AlphaTauri is here, livery as well. Really like how they look now. Not that Toro Rosso looked necessarily bad, but AlphaTauri just, it looks so clean. Yeah, Ball appears all over the place. Ginge is really struggling to get past, obviously. And there we have it, second McLaren throwing his front wing away, being stuck behind a Mercedes. Percy has done it before. I think he's done it again as he's in the pits once more. Still getting front wing. Gonna drop him all the way down to 10 again. Oh my. What are we in for here now? But drive around the outside of the casino section. Battling pace just between Havoc and Crew. Hopefully they don't inflict damage on the leaders. Keyboard driver might be pushing though. He has the soft tires, he has the pace. Quite unfortunate circumstance brought him back to that P8. And yeah, he seems to be able to stick with Havoc. Honest, lost pace, another penalty. And yeah, 6 and 9 second gaps are gonna be big here, probably, because that's like classical points for penalties here. Havoc can actually pull away massively, as Crew has kind of been stuck behind pace, I think. Through now, but Havoc gained like 1.5 seconds there. To be honest, I mean, they never were that close together, I guess. So Havoc always had a good lead. What drivers gaining massively on Ginge? Oh, I think Ginge might have been in the pits. Oh, that's the 11 seconds. He just dropping last lap, most likely. Would wonder if it was different. It's gonna stick with keyword driver for a little more there, as he picks up another penalty. But yeah, quite funky seeing him and leader together. Really hope there's not gonna be any contact. Actually, Crew's faster than you. Well, that sounds not optimal. Well, Crew's lap time qualifying was something like 11.65. I'm pretty confident that Meshi can somehow beat that. I'm confident in our elite drivers. They can do good stuff. And there's gonna be quite a bunch more of them. At this point, we're pretty separated drivers. Bit of a battle between Pine and but yeah, in elite we have more drivers, of course. Oh my god. Pace is definitely enjoying himself. Oh, that is not necessarily how you can defend. Take a bit more care. It's going to retire? No. Okay. Wow, that's not how F1 tires work. Okay, he's just gonna retire. Yikes. Definitely yikes. He's there, definitely. Right. We go Ginge. Ginge and Monsieur Piclet will be get a suit. I get somewhat of a the exit. Maybe he just lets Ginge past. Knows he doesn't really have a chance to test the up tires with the old mediums. Probably he would have had, but yeah. Maybe just didn't want to deal with the pressure. No. And Ginge is back into now gonna be chasing after Gimpai is gonna take a lot of time in every lap, as well as Gimp Apple. That should necessarily be, I think it's some of a mistake. Why was the start finish read yellow when he drove it? I don't really know. We're probably gonna see. Finch is definitely gonna catch Gimp. And if he does, or when he eventually, gonna be funky to see how they're gonna battle this out. Gimp, by the way, like, we've not seen and talked much about him here, but so far he's driving an absolutely flawless race. I'd have changed that out, but I think he might be one of the few drivers, except from the top 3 runners maybe, is on a one-stop strategy. By just simply not recognizing to do extra stops. So yeah, not looking too bad for him here. Gaining another 2 seconds this lap, so if he continues like that, he's gonna be in striking distance in like 90 laps or something. Well. That's probably gonna be last on-track battle. While this is going on, we should go to the race director. See what the drivers on top have. Goldfish has 3 seconds. Danny is not important. Yeah. Percy's kind of bad, but Pine. Okay, Pine is kind of 10 seconds, kind of harsh. Might actually give Gimp a chance for P4 if he does it right. Keyboard driver, 1 more. Goldfish has 6. Fish has 9. Okay, so from the top runners, both Havoc and Crew don't have penalty. Goldfish has 9 seconds. That should be no problem though, as he's currently 30 seconds ahead of the next driver behind. Professor Baller didn't seem to have many penalties either, but Gimp had none. Sure, and well, we've been away for 1.5 minutes, and Finch has closed the gap to less than a second. 1 lap I think he needed, and we are a good bit away from the very last lap, as these guys are still in lap 18, lap 19 up on top obviously, because Havoc is currently going through sector 2 as well. And Gimp is gonna be struggling on his old mediums. We can see Ginger Ninja just winning like several meters every time they go into a braking zone because he has the better grip. Probably just gonna try to accelerate past him. Though this could happen, and Jin just patient. I don't know if your chances are actually better if you like try to close the gap on the start finish straight and try to go for a move on the uphill section. So yeah, these guys now on lap 19, so they still have to go. As Havoc is about to lap them or later, if they gonna lose too much time battling each other. Keyboard driver with another warning. But I think, even though he has like quite a bunch at this point, this is probably not gonna be enough for Pace to go through, as Pace could have a decent amount of penalties as well. Speaking of which, there we are with another. Gimp is sliding through. Staying ahead currently. Finch is desperately... Oh my god. Yikes. Pressure has been just a little bit too much for Gimp here. He's been sending it into the wall. Okay, at least let's have a go through without anything happening. Well, at least he's gonna keep like his P6, I think. If he can keep it up through the last lap, can he? F. Yeah, leaves crew through as well. Oh, they actually finished. So yeah, he's definitely gonna keep his P6. He's not gonna lose enough time to Clay, lose another position, as he can just go through. Through in the first place, yeah, because he's getting lapped. So yeah, that's actually quite good. Ginge. Obviously he's now gonna finish a lap ahead. How's that gonna, like, how's that happening? If, okay, like, hypothetically, if Ginge is now having a penalty and the leader is between Ginge and Gimp, is Ginge just winning because he's not a lap behind? I mean, okay, I don't know. That's some funky ruling, I think. But yeah. Ginge comes 5th and actually gets driver of the day here. Whereas Havoc takes a pretty much front-to-back victory. I think he literally, like, if he has the quickest lap, he has the Grand Slam here, because he won qualifying. He definitely led every single lap of the race, was never second or anything else at all. So we're gonna see that in the stat screen coming up soon, if he really has the quickest lap as well, because if so, just a very dominant performance here. Through in the Alpha once more, quite good. And well, you gotta love to see a Red Bull on the podium. Rare occasion, sure. But Goldfish has finally did it. He did not throw it away like he did in Canada, where he just had a little spicy meetup at the Wall of Champions. And yeah, top 3 go into the finish just as they started. And it's Goldfish with the quickest lap here. Just narrowly quicker than the top 2 drivers. Havoc will not take this point home. However, these top 3 are followed by Ball Up, Ginge, Gimp, Clay, aka Clay, Percy, Keyboard Driver, and the last top 10 finisher is Pace, Pine, Stani, and Comico. All finished or did not finish outside of top 10. So yeah, gonna head into a short break. So we can probably at the next race in 5 minutes or so. So we'll be right back.